You're the gruntiest baby I've ever heard.
Still, Jane Fitzpatrick and her wife J.D. Dold say they know better than to take any little grunt for granted.
I guess we only had about a 20% chance of this whole thing working. And we thought, well, let's kind of roll the dice, leave it up to fate, and if it works, it was meant to be.
But they say fate wouldn't make it easy.
Jane developed preeclampsia,
A potentially fatal pregnancy complication.
It became pretty evident pretty quickly that we were going to become moms again.
a lot sooner.
Yeah. And we weren't ready. We certainly didn't. We didn't have a name. We didn't have a car seat. We didn't have a diaper. We had nothing.
Jane says she tried to carry her son as close to term as possible. She made it to 32 weeks.
Somewhere in that 3-minute ambulance ride, things went from bad to worse. He flipped around inside me and became breech. And so whatever hopes of getting here and trying to have a normal,
Natural.
natural delivery was pretty much over at that time.
As doctors prepped her for surgery, JD had to stay in the next room.
Oh, wow. Just, fearful for both Jane and the baby. They told me I would not hear him cry, that most premature babies don't cry when they're delivered, but all of a sudden the nurse and I just heard this really loud screaming baby, and I raced over and peered in the crack and saw his little red body being carried by lots of people flying across the room, and it was pretty amazing. I don't know, when I saw him fly across that room, I just went, Ari, Ari, Ari.
Ari was 3 pounds, 9 ounces, but stable.
At least I didn't have to worry intensely about him like I did about Jane.
She spent a few more days in recovery before she was able to visit her son.
I was surprised to come in and he looked like a baby. He had full baby features and he had this big head of dark hair, and I'm like, how is it that he looks like you? That's not even possible.
Now, after 5 weeks in the NICU,
That means he gets to go home.
Ari is a graduate.
He's been keeping everybody awake.
But he's also very lucky.
Yeah.
We're very lucky.
He's eating on his own
There you go.
and growing.
This little miracle had to go from a little frozen embryo to take and then cook and then survive what, an early birth and a broken leg and all kinds of things to just be our little lion man.
And for both of his moms, just in time.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day.
The perfect present, 2 months early,
Nobody needs flowers. Nobody needs chocolates.
ready to come home.
Yep, this is all we need for Mother's Day.
Nice to meet you.
Art in the Alley hasn't just been Tammy LaPole Edmonds' domain.
I do the one-of-a-kind clothing, I do the jewelry,
She's so proud of her work, she even made sure.
You look at with these colors and got in, did a close-up shot. That'd be very cool.
I caught it all in the best possible light.
This is my happy place. This is what I love most in the whole world.
So when she got the news,
When you're told you have cancer, at first you can't believe that those words are being said to you.
the lymphoma,
I slept with a machine attached to me. I lived with a machine attached to me, beeping and blinking and changing of bags.
wasn't even the worst part.
If you can't be somewhere for 5 months and it's your world, and you're literally being taken out of your world for 5 months, it's what heals me. It's my happy place. You see what this is.
Tammy says she had to find a way back.
And this is how I stayed in touch with my customers while I was under 5 months of chemotherapy treatment, was making these necklaces.
Adorned with what she calls Tammy Love, incorporating a symbol of the store with a hand for creativity.
Wishing you abundant health.
Though over the past 6 months, she says it wasn't about what the customers bought,
Here's Annabelle. Tammy, I hope you feel better. That's a little girl.
but what she received.
She had her birthday party with me 9 years ago in Superior. I mean, these people have been my customers for the entire time.
Notes from her customers, each who bought their own Tammy Love, sending a little her way.
Something new.
Now done with treatment, Tammy's glad to be back in her happy place.
Well, thank you.
But she says her customers aren't done giving back.
It's hard to be the receiving end of a benefit.
They're calling the benefit Tammy Love, and more than helping her cover the financial toll of her illness, Tammy says it's a chance to make her homecoming official.
I just want to see a lot of my friends. I want to give a lot of hugs. I want it to be happy and joyful and a celebration of life, because that's what it is.
Here's where you are right now.
If you think it's hard enough navigating new city streets,
You go down here to the corner, and then you go right about 3 blocks.
Imagine introducing the world to the Skyway.
I can tell that there is a lot of people that aren't from Minnesota here when they comment on the weather.
Fortunately for those who aren't quite ready for the bold north,
Everybody's headed the same way and they know where they're going, right?
there are people like Suzanne Miller.
This is a lot of stuff to take in.
The Crew 52 volunteer came down from Duluth to help out fellow out-of-towners for the weekend.
What an experience. This is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and I just like a big deal for Minnesota, and I wanted to be part of it.
Though most are coming from a bit farther than Duluth.
Yeah.
And Miller says there are certainly more bodies passing through than in our Skyway.
1,000 people, more than 1,000 people walking through here. And last night, it was just packed.
Just being a part of the excitement.
There's so many people and so many things going on, and new things that I haven't seen before.
And being an ambassador of Minnesota Nice.
Here you go, and have a nice day.
Outweighs the overwhelming.
Of course, all volunteers are hoping Justin Timberlake will walk by anytime now.
But Miller says she's happy to welcome anyone to Minnesota.
Good luck on that.
Because while home is 2.5 hours away,
Yep, that's the right way.
Miller says this is still our Super Bowl.
I'm proud that Duluth is here because this isn't just Minneapolis. This is the whole state of Minnesota, and I'm happy that we could be here.
Speaking perhaps for all of Ashland,
It's April, yeah.
Paula Madej says this wasn't how she pictured spring.
Our morning has been a lot of work.
But after nearly 16 inches fell in 24 hours, Madej and the rest of Ashland have come to accept the calendar can't keep the snow at bay.
It was like we were standing in the middle of a snow globe and someone shook it up and it was just swirling snow everywhere.
Not ideal conditions for drivers or plows. So Ashland County Sheriff Mick Brennan says just like the season's first storm,
heavy snow blowing across the highway. The highway crews were having a hard time keeping it open, so they shut it down.
Once the wind died down, crews were able to clear this section of Highway 2 earlier Monday morning, but with all of the snow that's piled up out here, it's going to take a lot more work before Ashland digs itself out of this April blizzard.
Enjoy the sunshine, but we won't be far behind you.
though not everyone shares her optimism.
What are you going to do if it snows again?
Probably stay inside till it melts.
Still, between piles of white,
I can't believe you answered that question!
Madej sees a silver lining.
Moving soon to a house that has a much shorter driveway.